So my name is Samantha Wilner,
I'm Ryan Campbell.
and we are both on the Global Ambassador Council for Beyond Type 1. And as you may or may not know, we recently got married about 2 weeks ago. And we get a ton of questions through Beyond Type 1 and also on our social media accounts from people who are really interested in what it's like to be in a relationship where you both have type 1 diabetes. And so we thought that we would answer some of those questions that we get most frequently today. So I think what people ask us, number one, instantly all the time, is how did we meet?
Which is a pretty typical question.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah, it's a typical question, and I think people hope that the answer is this beautiful, like we were both volunteering at a JDRF walk or a Beyond Type 1. Yeah, we were in a coffee shop testing our blood sugars. But what's the real answer?
We both swiped right on Tinder. And on our first date, we talked about diabetes. That's all we talked about.
The whole time.
We didn't even ask, like, what's your favorite color or what. I remember we each had a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I thought that was very memorable.
I remember showing you my Dexcom, and you had never seen one before. You had no idea. He had no idea what a CGM was, and was blown away. And I remember telling him, if I don't see you again, you should totally get this. Like, if this doesn't work out, just like type 1 to type 1, you should totally get on a CGM because it's the best technology ever. So the next question I would say is, what are the best and worst parts about dating or being in a relationship with another person with T1D? So I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'll start with the worst. I would say it's the worst. I say I have a heightened awareness of both my health and Samantha's health. I think you get like that if you're in a relationship, so that's normal. But when you have somebody who has type 1 diabetes, it's obviously the game is different. So I think what is the beautiful silver lining of that all is that it's people are always like, in a great relationship, we'll finish each other's sentences, and that's a cliche saying, but I feel like I'll surprise you with Starburst in your purse or
a juice box.
And I think it's funny because it's been the same way. I'll be like, I'm a guy, I don't carry a purse around, I don't carry much around for me with myself, so I have to depend on either going to a convenience store if I go low in the city, or Samantha's purse. I'm like, did you bring your low stuff? Because that's to me the little things that I guess it's probably the worst, and best as well. I think that having somebody that is in it with you is the best part.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's so many little moments that are awesome. Big and little moments that you wouldn't think of. Like if I forget my meter or run out of insulin, it's like everything's doubled. So that's pretty cool. Also, when we first started dating, not having to have that awkward conversation of, oh, hey, I have this condition, here's what it means, and trying to balance how much you show of T1D to the person that you're dating, because you don't want to scare them and make them feel like they have to be on edge all the time, but just for us to instinctively know. And I feel like we've gotten really good at picking up on each other's symptoms too.
Yes.
So knowing when the other is dropping and picking up on just little things. And waking up in the middle of the night to treat a low.
I bolused you while you're sleeping, so that's...
Yeah. Oh my God. You're basically my artificial pancreas. It's so true. So sometimes Ryan will, if he gets up,
Which I often do.
Here's my he's a night owl. So if he hears my Dexcom going off and I'm not I'm sleeping through it, which, you know, I will sleep through a high alarm a lot, but usually not lows. But the highs, you know, it's annoying because then you're high all night, you wake up high, it's like the worst way to start your day. And Ryan will correct me in my sleep.
And it's almost on a technicality that I'm high as well, because if my blood sugar's fine and she's getting all the alarms, I know what the alarms are notifying you of. So I'm like, oh, I know somebody's high. Like, okay, let's correct it.
But then on the flip side, I feel like that probably has to be the worst part about dating someone, being with someone who has type 1, because even if your blood sugars are completely normal and you're good, your partner's sugars could be off. And then when you're both off, it's like there's just very little time for sleep when you both have type 1. The last question that we've been getting a lot recently is about our wedding day.
Which just happened at the end of August.
Yeah, August 31st.
2018.
Yeah, and people want to know, you know, how we individually and collectively prepared, not only because, you know, there's definitely special wedding day considerations with a type 1, but also because we had quite a few type 1 attendees.
We had 5 total, including us.
Yep, we have 5 total, and 2 of them were in our wedding party. My T1D pen pal, Lila,
Through snail mail.
who I met through Beyond Type 1 snail mail, was one of my bridesmaids. And then my T1D BFF from my JDRF days, Andrea.
What was it, Diabesties?
Divesty, yeah, she was also one of my bridesmaids. So we had a lot of people there, and there was definitely some special efforts that went into that. So
I specifically wanted a photo with a photographer having everybody that had type 1 to hold up their, whether it was their insulin pump or Dexcom or phone, to show your number at that time. So we'll have a photo of that coming soon.
yeah, that was definitely special. But
So preparation.
yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. What did we obviously got ready separately, so I actually don't know what you did, if anything, that was special.
So the overview is that I rode 220 the whole day, actually.
Same.
I think a lot of that has to do, which I've talked to other people, not about wedding days, but just you're in a stressful situation, good or bad. And obviously it was the greatest day of our lives, so every time I bolus, I'd go down a tiny bit and then stay it and back up. Now again, me being afraid of lows or not liking lows, I was okay with it. It was,
yeah.
I also wasn't eating a ton of cake, and then Lila, who is in California, has 2 sisters, and my joke to everybody else was, we're gonna dance. That was my cure for the day. I'm gonna dance,
just
the
high
get my
away.
high away. Yep, that was how I got rid of my high.
We did a lot of dancing,
and it came down oddly enough. So I think if you don't know what a cure, you can't find a cure, that's my current cure. So
yeah, I was also 250 the entire day. Woke up 250, didn't eat anything. I was so nervous and stressed out that I didn't eat anything until after the ceremony, which was at 6 p.m. So I went almost the whole day riding on just coffee and could not get below 250. I was I didn't want to drop, so I was trying not to pump myself full of insulin, but it was definitely an adrenaline high. And I don't know.
I will say too, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
The 2 parts that I really thoroughly enjoyed, as far as not so much preparation, we had a wedding coordinator who had at one point he had the orange juice in his back pocket while we were getting married.
During our ceremony.
And so that was part of preparation. The other part was that, not in a bad, I'm not saying as an out, that we would stop things if they were that bad. I think that's with any situation.
Yes.
If anybody that we knew was going low during the ceremony especially, we would say, hold on, we need to address this. I think that's what I had no hesitation. If you were doing that, if that happened to myself or you or anyone in the bridal part of the wedding.
Yeah, I definitely think we had contingency plans in place.
I think that was the preparation for me.
But we also had, I'm trying to think, So we had glucagon kits on hand. We had.
Tell me about your diabetes preference.
Oh, okay. So in my bridal suite, because we were going to have 3 type 1s in the same room getting ready before the wedding. I made this little and decorated what I called the Beaties box.
I was jealous. I was jealous of it.
And it had the best low stuff. We had like Ferrero Rocher chocolates, but also like Pixie sticks and Smarties and Starburst. 2 glucagon kits, some extra Omnipods, and Lantus and Novolog in case anyone's pods
Which it
failed.
did have it.
Which I will say, yes, came in super handy because one of my bridesmaids had an issue with her pump and had to go back on shots for the night. So thank God I had a pen.
Preparation was key.
I had a pen cap and I had a Novolog pen. And
we solved this issue in about 3 minutes.
Yes, we were good to go. And I was like, yes, this is why I did this. But other than that, I mean, diabetes was secondary. It really was. It didn't take priority during that day. And I feel like everyone is entitled to a few days out of the year when diabetes doesn't matter or they act like they don't have it. And that's kind of how I felt. We took the necessary precautions so we could forget about it and focus on our special day.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Not just your wedding day, but any day that you prepare and you can handle it. I think that's what... And I enjoyed it more. Like, I think having the friends and family, not just friends and family, but then people that the parents of everyone who had type 1. I think Zoe's parents and Lila, that it was nice to have the common bond that we all have. Like, diabetes doesn't just affect the person that has it, it's all the people around, and it was great to share that with everybody.
Yeah.
I think that was part of
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you guys have more questions,
please send.
Send. You can
Comment
follow us
or
at Samantha Wilner and at RPC. Wait, what's yours? I don't even know.
My handle? R Campbell 112.
R Campbell 112
on Instagram.